China on Wednesday set its GDP growth target for 2025 at around 5% and laid out stimulus measures to boost its economy amid escalating trade tensions with the US. Beijing raised its budget deficit target to around 4% of GDP from 3% last year, according to the official report, as the country's top legislative body held its annual meeting. The 4% deficit would mark the highest on record going back to 2010, according to data accessed via Wind Information. The prior high was 3.6% in 2020, the data showed. The government report outlined plans to issue 1.3 trillion yuan, $178.9 billion, in ultra-long-term special treasury bonds in 2025, 300 billion yuan more than last year. Another 500 billion yuan worth of special treasury bonds will be issued to support large state-owned commercial banks. The widened fiscal package also includes the issuance of 4.4 trillion yuan of local government special purpose bonds this year to help ease their financing strains. In an implicit acknowledgement of sluggish domestic demand, Beijing revised down its annual consumer price inflation target to around 2%, the lowest in more than 2 decades, from 3% or higher in prior years, according to the Asia Society Policy Institute. The new inflation goal would act more as a ceiling than a target to be realized. Consumer prices climbed just 0.2% in 2024 and 2023, while producer prices have declined for over 2 years. While emphasizing boosting domestic consumption as a top priority, Beijing vowed to expand the consumer goods trade-in program with an additional 300 billion yuan in ultra-long special treasury bonds. Officials who drafted the work report told the press Wednesday that external uncertainties were growing and that the 5% GDP target would require very arduous work to achieve, according to a CNBC translation of their statement in Chinese. Regarding the lowered inflation target, Chen Changsheng, a member of the government work report drafting team, acknowledged that if prices are too low, it is difficult to incentivize businesses to invest and increase consumers' income. He noted that the work report called for 4 tasks to address the depressed prices: expanding fiscal support, working to lift consumption, using regulation to prevent price wars, and making a greater effort to stabilize real estate prices. China seeks to keep the urban unemployment rate, which stood at 5.1% last year, at around 5.5% and add more than 12 million jobs in urban areas. The country's annual parliamentary gathering, known as the Two Sessions, started Tuesday with the opening ceremony of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, a top advisory body. The National People's Congress kicked off its meeting Wednesday and is expected to wrap up its annual session on March 11. The foreign minister and heads of several economic departments are due to hold press conferences in the interim. Chinese offshore yuan slipped to 7.264 against the US dollar as Chinese Premier Li Qiang presented the work report at the National People's Congress meeting in a live-streamed session. The exchange rate will be kept generally stable at an adaptive, balanced level, he said. The opening of China's National People's Congress coincides with US President Donald Trump's planned speech at a joint session of Congress, where Trump could share his agenda and goals for the year. On the issue of Taiwan, Beijing stressed it would resolutely oppose separatist activities aimed at the democratically governed island's independence, while promoting a peaceful development of cross-strait relations.